Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. We're going to be doing another viewer request, and this one is yet another past life video. And honestly, I love doing these past lives. Like, do not stop suggesting people that I could, be looking at their past lives. I already have so many requests stacked up that I will do. I will. Today we're going to be looking at Jane Fonda. That was like, she was one of the most commonly suggested ones from you guys. So we're going to take a look at Jane Fonda, her past life, and how anything from there, comes into play in her current life, because all of our existences do have something that ties them all together. There's always something. All right. So yeah, let's take a look at her past life, and then I want to just do a quick look at how she's doing now and what the future holds for her and stuff like that. So, Jane Fonda, past life. Jane Fonda, past life. Just one past life, Spirit. Please don't get me confused. Spirit says, I won't. I never do. Any confusion, you're the one it's coming from, basically, is what I get told. All right, I just had some cards come flying out, so I'm going to set them up. Put down some clarifiers. Okay. So I'm just asking Spirit, I don't know if it really matters or not, in this past life, was she male or female? Young male, I'm hearing. A very young man. Okay. At any point in your, I guess this has to do with any person. At some point in your life, you're going to be young. But no, just from what these particular cards are telling me, this happened while she was in a past life where she was a young man. I don't know, whatever. Anyways. But for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to continue to refer to this person as Jane. So these cards are pointing to a time in Jane's past life when she was a young man. There's a little bit of jail time, but it's in the reverse. Now, the mental images and the things that came to mind when I had seen this, especially with it being in the reverse, I was just shown that they didn't spend too much time there in jail. I have 7 of Cups, suggesting 7 months was something that had come in, that it was possible they had spent 7 months in jail. They were a young person that was confused about life, confused about what to do and where to go. And then they really lucked out. Jane would have really, really lucked out because, the Magician, almost like conjuring up this brand new start in life, new start with the Ace of Wands. Like, it felt like it was almost magic, like it just, the solution, almost like I'm hearing the word miracle, also hearing came out of nowhere, so the solution to the problem. Something dawned on them while they were in jail. And somebody helped them out in a really big way. Somebody sent a person on their path, like to put in the middle of Jane's path while they were in jail, to speak to them. And whatever it was that they told them, like, it really, really stuck. So I don't know necessarily what they had spoken about. High Priestess is also all about revealing information and wisdom and secrets. There's something about the secret. I think Spirit is just referring to that book. That's the book that talks about manifesting and being able to pretty much bring things into being just through the power of intent. That's something that they had learned in jail. Somebody had taught them this. I also feel as though with this High Priestess, like it was somebody had come as a visitor. And it was a more spiritual person who helped sort of plant some seeds of thought. And that was the ticket to like the brand new start of the next part of that lifetime. We'll go into more details about like why they went to jail and stuff like that if we're allowed to know this from Spirit. Anyways. The next cards I have, the Fool, that was their lucky break. That was this person's lucky break. They were able to, like I was talking about, enter the new chapter in their life. They were able to live harmoniously. Excuse me, hiccups. They were able to live harmoniously with other people upon returning home. Oh, the hiccups again, excuse me. And then they went on, I got 9 of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles. Those are both pretty good cards to see. Jane would have went on to have a very happy family, intergenerational happiness. I'm also hearing something about wounds that don't need healing because there was no wounding to begin with. There was some kind of wound that had been prevented, some kind of like emotional wound that would have affected the family. But it was prevented because, you know, this person was able to get out of jail through almost magical, miraculous ways. Somehow, we'll get into that though. Learned how to manifest this. How long ago? How long ago? How long ago was this? This is really... Okay, this is confusing me. But I'll tell you guys with the information I just got from Spirit. 50s, okay? So like 1950s. But Jane Fonda is already, I'm not sure how old she is, but she's up there in age. She is she in her 70s? Maybe younger than that. She doesn't look very old, but she's definitely, she would have definitely been alive during the 1950s, right? Of course. So how is she having this other lifetime at the same time? And it's because of this. All of our incarnations are all happening right now. All of them. We seem to view them as one after the other, after the other, after the other. For the most part, that keeps our brains content and keeps them from frying at the prospect of trying to wrap your head around that. So it's like those 2 lifetimes are happening simultaneously, her past life and her current life. But the past life is in an alternate, it's in a kind of a different dimension. It's in an alternate dimension. It looks just like our world. People behave, I don't know, just like they do in our world. But it was just, I don't know. I guess because Jane Fonda, who she is in the present, and who she was in her past life, they couldn't coexist in the same earth at the same time. So this incarnation where she's like this young man in the 50s in jail, I'm also hearing about 17 years. So she would have been about 17 years old during this particular time that we just looked at with the cards. that was all happening in an alternate reality. Oh, and it runs alongside this one. Interesting. I hope that makes sense to you guys, because it was a little confusing to me, to be honest. Now, so about 17, between 17 and 20 is what I'm feeling, but I kept seeing the number 17, and it was this all happened in the 50s. Now, I want to know, I'm going to pack all of these up. What did he do? What did they do to end up going to jail at that young? Now, right away, I'm hearing both the words stealing, stolen, and theft. Those words came in all at once. And what did he steal was the other thing I was... All right. Actually, there's one more thing I just want to clarify real quick. Okay. First of all, here's this being insecure, being short. In this case, it was being short on money. I asked Spirit, what did they steal? And it was money that was stolen. Don't know from who or from where, but it's just money was stolen. Because they were living in this lack mentality. I'm just hearing, I grew up poor and poor is what I am. That was what I just heard. That was the mindset that they used to have. And of course, when we keep thinking about things like, wow, I'm so broke, or I want money, or I need money, we get stuck in that vibration of being broke, or of wanting, or of needing, and not actually having. So one thing that was taught to this person that Jane Fonda used to be in that lifetime, one thing that was taught to him while he was in jail was changing that mindset from I need, I want, to I have, even if you don't physically have it in your hand. This was because he was worried about the future with 3 of Wands. He was looking off at the future, at some of his options, at some things that he kind of wanted to do. He was worried about money, though. There's a conflict here, 5 of Wands, in conflict with a particular woman. Fiance or a girlfriend. That's immediately what I sensed when I picked that one up, so that's what that is. He was in conflict with a girlfriend. He wanted to get married to this woman, or he wanted to propose, but he felt as though he didn't have enough money. And I feel like this particular woman, I don't know why I feel it, but like she wasn't the greatest of influences on him. She was not very good for him. They fought. I'm hearing they fought constantly. But it's what I pick up is that both of them had grown up in households where the parents did not love each other. Where what I'm seeing in my mind's eye right now is that his parents lived together and were married, but there was rarely any communication, and he didn't feel that there was any love there. You know, you can look at 2 people and just know that they love each other, and it was not like that. And then for this girl that was not good for him, that he was thinking of marrying, what I picked up is that her parents only got together because of a pregnancy. Only got married because of a pregnancy, and I don't know. It wasn't her. It was an older older sibling. And the parents they didn't love each other. They only got married out of obligation. I really get the strong sense that she had encouraged him to steal the money. There's something that they needed that money for in particular, and I just want to understand what. Was it like for the wedding, or was it for like a marriage certificate? You know, those are kind of expensive. What was that for? Okay, for some reason I'm feeling with Temperance in reverse, he felt like things in his life were out of control. He wanted to be back in control. He wanted to feel as though there was that more freedom over his life. Well, I have enough money now that I can just up and do this instead of feeling stuck. Things between him and that woman did not work out. After he was caught. I still want to understand, what did he steal from, or who? Like, was it a store? Was it the bank? Was it somebody, like, personal money? I get this feeling that this woman that he was with at the time really, really was good at stealing and really enjoyed it. It was money from a store. I don't know if he just... I'm seeing a grocery store, so I don't know if he, like, tried to rob a grocery store or what happened in that lifetime that got him sent to jail. But the mental image that I have is the woman, like this Queen of Wands here, the woman that he would have been trying to save up money for, you know, to marry and to have family with and stuff like that. She would steal little bits of food every time. They would pay for some of the food, but then in her purse or hidden in a pocket would be something, some kind of item that they didn't want to pay for. And so they did that quite a bit. And so the girl was very used to doing that. And so, yeah, he just, I guess, took the money, robbed the grocery store. And he felt confused and misdirected in life. I'm hearing, this isn't really you. This isn't really you. And that's the person that visited him in jail and told him all about manifesting and told him about how to create the life that he really wanted. Told him over and over, this isn't really you. And what came out while I was talking about that, if you really want to be happy, you need to cut some things loose, and you need to make some people disappointed. You need to disappoint some people. Don't be afraid to do that. This is something I feel that he was told while he was in jail. So then upon being released, I do feel as though he broke up with the girl upon being released. Why was he let out of jail after only 7 months? Oh, because it was time. They felt he had learned his lesson. I'm also hearing mainly to scare. So I guess it was time. It was time for him to move into the next stage of his life. Spirit said, you know what? We're going to help you to manifest this, you getting out and you living your best life. And I don't know, I guess other people who are in charge of, what is that even called? When you work at a jail and you're in charge of, like, letting people leave and stuff like that, you approve whether or not, whatever, doesn't matter. some authorities there had decided that, yes, he had learned his lesson. There's also something about that I'm picking up, like a big fee, or almost like it could have, now I feel like it could have been the person that had visited him and had said, you know, hey, this is how you can live the life that you want. You know, this isn't really you, things like that. I feel as though they paid a large amount of money to have this young kid released from the jail. But the reason they gave the guy was, well, because we think you learned your lesson. I had an ace come out that's verifying that, yes, somebody paid a really big bribe or bail or something, I don't know, to let him out. Somebody really, really believed in that person. That person really, really believed in him. Wow. Okay, so then got out of jail, broke up with that woman, went on to live a much better life, altogether avoiding generational traumatic emotional wounds. That's good. What else did they do? What else did Jane Fonda do in that lifetime after getting out of jail? What else did they do? Well, there's that justice again. Keep an eye on that. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. All right, so here's the justice. He made sure that he didn't get himself in trouble again. And not even just made sure he didn't get caught. He made sure that he did not do anything that would get him in trouble ever again. At least not that serious of trouble. He remembered what that person did for him and how he was able to get out of jail and avoid being really, really miserable. He made sure he kept his nose clean, as people would say. I have two side by side. Four of Pentacles with the Star. Four of Pentacles is saying, at first, he slipped right back into that lack mentality. Well, I have nothing. At least I had meals in jail. That's one thing I heard. At least I had 3 square meals. Now I have nothing. But realized very quickly that mindset gets me nowhere. So he decided to have a little bit of hope and a little bit of optimism for the future. Well, you know what? Things are going to be okay. And it was then when he sort of changed that mindset. You know, things are going to be okay. I'm going to remain hopeful. The universe started to offer up all kinds of blessings. The universe offered up a lot of happiness and joy. He was able to get an honest job. Can I know where? Does anything come in? Can I know where? From the same store, at the same store from which he had robbed, is what I'd heard. So that's pretty amazing. Somehow, how on earth did they swing that? Any information coming from Spirit? Why was he able to go back to that store? The power of forgiveness. The power of forgiveness. That store owner. This just clicked. I really feel like the store owner was the one who went and visited him in jail and talked to him and said, this is not you. You're better than this. The power of forgiveness took him from this horrible low place in his life to where he's doing those bad things and whatever, to a place where he's happier and living his life in such a way so that he does not have to steal and he doesn't have to lie and he doesn't have to hurt anybody. So he was given honest work. The universe offered him honest work. He was given forgiveness. And then Spirit brought a new love into his life. A new person, a different person to love. Oh, and I shuffled, but I was going to show you guys the bottom. I had the Queen of Wands, I had the Tower, and I had the Devil, and it was just saying that that lady didn't learn her lesson, at least not right away, and she had some pretty nasty consequences for the time that she did get caught stealing. She had consequences. But what about this new love? This was the cause of the intergenerational happiness. Anything else I can know about the relationship before I show off these cards? Okay. The relationship moved very, very fast. Very fast. It was, they met, they just knew they were each other's special person. They just knew they were each other's soulmate. Look at the bottom, look at the card on the bottom of the deck. I have the Six of Cups, and that is a card about soulmates or soul friends or souls that recognize and love each other. From other existences even. So the relationship moved so fast. It was almost alarming to him, is what I feel. They met, there was some kind of maybe volunteer work they were doing, helping the, it has to do with helping the poor. Food bank, I'm getting, it has something to do with like a community food bank, or like I'm just seeing like boxes of dry goods and like all kinds of, I'm seeing like a big crate of apples, things being rationed out, things like that. And that was how those two met. And the relationship moved really fast. There's like the marriage and whatever. He finally felt as though he was in a place where he's in control of his life. The Emperor, all about that control. And he enjoyed being the head of the household. I'm hearing the word daddy a lot. Like he really, really enjoyed raising his kids, their kids, being a daddy, being a husband, being the man of the house. But he still always had a little bit of guilt, a little bit of shame because of how he had grown up and what he had done and how he landed in jail and stuff like that. There was always just that little bit of guilt there. Anything else about that lifetime? Nothing more substantial. Okay, so how does that tie into Jane Fonda's current life? How does her past life as that guy have anything to do with her current life? Interesting. Okay. So in both lifetimes, in this current one, obviously I don't know her. I don't really know that much about her. I don't really know about things that she's been through, but I know that from these cards that there are some really difficult things that she'd been through as a child growing up and as a young adult, and just different times throughout her life. There have been really tough challenges. It's just the knowledge that, remember that worst thing you've been through? Well, you can get, if you got through that, you know you can get through this. Both lifetimes, they've seen their fair share of hard work. They've had to do a lot of hard work. There's been a little bit of overwhelm sometimes in both lifetimes. Then there is the temptation to do wrong. And now in that lifetime, the temptation, I guess the woman that he was about to propose to or whatever had encouraged him to steal money and had encouraged him to do this bad thing. And he made the wrong choice. And we already talked about what happened there. In this lifetime, Jane is being presented off and on. And I think that must be that way, like with the whole Hollywood scene or whatever. There's probably a lot of opportunities to do some pretty shifty things. And yet she had decided not to do those things. She wanted to continue to grow her career and to grow her best life. She wanted to continue to grow as a person. And she felt as though if she were to give in to any of these temptations, maybe it could have been things like drugs, maybe it could have been things like excessive partying and treating your body poorly, that she just wouldn't grow as much as she would like to. So in order to keep on developing and keep being the person that she wants to be, she had to really work hard to push these temptations away and say, no, I'm going to keep doing my best. All right, and just one last quick thing. Let's take a look at what the near future holds for Jane Fonda. Oops. I had a whole bunch of cards fall out. So what does the near future hold for her? Okay. I have someone's going to, and I feel like this is in a professional setting, somebody's going to try lying to her or taking advantage of her in some way, and she's going to protect herself. I have that she's going to continue to be in touch with her emotional side, to work through. I do pick up that there's inner healing that she's been doing for herself and for other people. She's very concerned about others too, because she wants to keep living peacefully. She wants to keep living in harmony with other people. She's going to keep working diligently, fighting. Now what I'm getting, this is also fighting, but it's on behalf of people who suffer. She's fighting for people who suffer more than she does. I feel as though she's in a good place in her life. She's comfortable, but she's also in a place now where she can help others. And so that's what she's going to continue to do. So, yeah. Anyways, that was my past life reading on Jane Fonda. Thank you to everybody who suggested her, because that was really fascinating. It was pretty amazing. And with that, let me know what your other suggestions are. If you liked this video, like, sub, comment, whatever you want to do. And I'll see you guys next time.